Welcome back to Liberty Podcast. If you've been following along, this episode is a big one. This is the moment where things stop being theoretical and starts getting real. Licenses are filed, paperwork is done, and now it's no longer about can you do this? It's about whatever you're willing to step into. Episode 4 is for the ones juggling the job and the dream at the same time. For the ones feeling the pressure of work, the doubts at home, and the quiet voice asking, is this sleep even worth it? This is the season where fear gets loud. The comfort starts pulling at you hard. In this episode, we're going to get personal. I'm going to share what my first month looked like when Liberty Pest Services officially went live, the pressure I was under, and the mindset shift that changed everything for me. If you're standing on the edge right now, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Okay, so now I was juggling everything. I still had my regular job with my employer. Now I have my business idea that was fully legit and ready to operate. I had my son, and I had to keep my sanity in check. I would do the paperwork late at night, just trying to finalize everything. And I quietly was asking myself, am I even crazy for even trying this thing? I start feeling the pressure. I was getting the side looks, the questions, some were positive, some were negative, and then the unspoken tension from people wondering how long I was going to keep chasing this dream that I'm having. And I had to remind myself that the pressure is just part of the process. That there doesn't mean to stop. It just means you're close. The more pressure you're getting, the closer you're actually feeling to getting closer. For me, everything got completed within 60 days. That's from filing with the Structural Pest Control Board to get my name registered all the way to getting my last permit. It took almost a full 60 days. So by this point, it's coming to the end of May. Reality hits. Summer is here. Pest season is here. And I had to have that honest conversation with myself. There ain't no perfect time. There is no moment where everything's going to line up neatly and perfectly. That's my biggest issue, is perfectly. And so I had to believe in myself and I had to take that leap. So I put my 2 weeks in on the 1st of June and to the company, and I've been with them now for about 20 years. And the hardest thing I think I had to ever do, was put my 2 weeks in because I was so dedicated. But once I did that, I knew there was no turning back. I was committed. I honestly thought they were just going to let me go the next day. I think that's pretty much what we did with a lot of the other employees. Just as soon as they put the 2 weeks in, say, see you later. But nope, they had me work the full 2 weeks. So now that it's mid-June, the countdown is real. And there was parts that surprised most people. I didn't advertise anything. I didn't start a single customer number name. I actually promised my boss, because I respected him tremendously, that I wouldn't start anything until after I quit. So truly started from zero. I had a website, I had a cell phone, and a personal truck with a logo magnet on it. And my uniform. I had the dream, but no safety net, no guarantees, just the belief and willingness to figure out as I went. I winged it. So now that it's mid-June, my last day of work was on a Friday, and I was like, my mindset, still employee mindset. I took that weekend off. I'm going to start this on Monday. Still had that employee mindset when I look back at it, but that next Monday hit differently. I woke up nervous, no alarm for a job anymore, just my own thoughts. So I got dressed in my uniform like I did for the past 20 years, made my cup of coffee, and I sat there in complete silence. And I stared at my phone. There was nothing, no calls, no text messages, silence. I remember thinking, all right, maybe it's going to ring any minute now. I finished my cup of coffee, grabbed my keys, And I drove my truck around town feeling super lost. Now this is my personal truck with a magnet logo on the side. My windows down, head on a swivel, saying, "Oh, who's checking me out?" Someone, "Oh, this the car is looking at me. Maybe they're gonna give me a call." So the first couple of days, it went like that. No calls, no emails, no, "Hey, I found you on Google." Just quiet. And I'll be honest with you, I instantly went into self-doubt, like, instantly. "Oh, shit, what am I doing? Did I just give up a six-figure job for nothing?" And my mindset, is they always say, "Oh, 90% of businesses fail within the first, 5 years." And this first week, I instantly went that direction. The things I was thinking was, did I really just walk away from that steady paycheck? Why isn't my phone ringing? That silence was so loud to me, way louder than any boss ever was. Every stoplight felt heavy. Every time I looked at my phone and saw nothing, it reminded my mind just started racing. But that was a part nobody really talks about. That space in between the commitment and the momentum, the moment where you've already burnt the ship, but the shore wasn't showing up yet. That was my reality. So I had a decision to make. My phone wasn't ringing and I didn't have any money to throw at ads. So with the little bit that I did have, I was scared to spend it. Every dollar felt heavy, every swipe felt risky. So I did what I can control. During the day, I started knocking on some doors, not everywhere. It was intentional. I picked up select neighborhoods, clean streets, homes that looked like they were cared for. I wasn't begging, I was just introducing myself, shaking hands, and letting people see my face. When I wasn't doing that, I was glued to my phone, refreshing Facebook community groups, watching next door like a hawk, hoping someone, somewhere, anyone would be posting something like looking for pest control. Every notification gave me a little jolt of hope. And then it happened, my first call. And here's the funny part, it didn't come from Facebook, it didn't come from next door. It didn't even come from knocking on any doors. It was one of my buddies. I didn't care though. It was my first real customer. Putting my uniform on that day hit differently though. I wore that uniform my whole life. I pulled up the same house hundreds of times, but this time it was business. This time it was for me. I was nervous, like legit nervous. My hands felt different. My mind was racing. I kept thinking, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. I was getting into my head. I got to the job. I got it done. And I walked him through everything and I finished strong. And when I got back in my truck, something clicked. Oh, I survived. Now I can do this. This is my first job that broke the ice. It proved to me that I wasn't just pretending anymore. I wasn't trying to be a business owner. I was one. Now it was time to get more jobs. That first month, I sold 6 new accounts. It was far from what I dreamt of. It was what I was hoping for, probably not, but it was a start. And that start mattered. If you're starting from zero and you're listening to this, hear me clearly. You don't need money to start the momentum. Facebook community groups work. Nextdoor works. Showing up works. Knocking on doors works a little bit. And once you get the first customer, show up like you're professional, sell yourself, ask for referrals, ask for reviews. Let people help you spread the word. Momentum doesn't come from waiting, it comes from movement. One call turns into confidence, confidence turns into consistency, and consistency builds everything else. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to start. All right. So, this is where we're going to leave episode 4. From putting in my 2 weeks, that silent Monday morning to the first $600 to landing those first 6 accounts. That was the foundation. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't smooth, but it was real. If you're at the stage right now where your phone isn't ringing the way you hoped it would, you're questioning everything, well, just stay in it. That uncomfortable season is building something in you that success alone never could. In the next episode, we're going to zoom out. We're going to wrap up the first year and talk about what happened over the next 18 months. The busy summer, the blown engine, the growth, the momentum, and how it all started to compound. Because the first month builds belief, but the first year builds identity. So I'll see you in episode 5.